model, today's smartest system route each problem to a specialist model. That architecture called mixture of experts, it's already powering everything from ChatGPT to our industry order processing. So that is two sentences how I can summarize a mixture of experts.
If I'm if a mid-size manufacturer or distributor, and I'm thinking about what do I do to figure out what is the best model to use, the best combination of models to use, how do I start? Where do I go?
In our business day-to-day work, we can break down our problem into a specific job. The same thing, even though in AI, instead of starting with the model logo, what kind of model, ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, there are many different. Don't think about model first. We can start with the job. So if you have a problem, write down exactly what you need model to do in a couple of sentences. For example, hey, I want to extract line item from my PO document, purchase order document. Or, hey, I want my handwritten document to be converted into very well written texture, the format. In that case, once we have 2 or 3 jobs, we can map those jobs to model strengths. So going back to the handwritten, the first job is converting image to text. Now, in that case, I can narrow down or shortlist vision enhanced model like visual language model or other OCR first LLM model. That way we can find, what is the best model we can leverage. And then once you have a shortlist, take, 2, 3, or 5 document sample and then run through those models, thinking about maybe 3 things. 1, accuracy. Hey, do you get what you want? Second, latency. How fast it takes to process, to do my job. And then the third one is cost. Hey, should I pay 1,000 for one job, or can I put like 0.1 cent? So those accuracy, latency, cost, you can check quickly with your sample.
What does it take to combine those models together into a single application or to power a single use case?
Yeah, I think if we can think about the mixture of experts, it sounds like too much. How we can, manage, arrange, organize all those, mixture of experts. But to put in one application, it doesn't sound that complicated if we have what we call the gate network or router. We need a set of very lightweight router in the mixture of expert architecture, take every problem and then decide which specialist model should answer. That way we can keep, our architecture pretty flexible and simple.
And so this sounds also a little bit like baking, but how do you test that recipe right that's all working together? I mean, it must be different than building a regular SaaS application, right?
Yeah, definitely. I could think about 2 main ingredients or our secret sauce. So the first one is we are keeping a control batch. So that is our small, however, very high quality labeled data with real world example. So whatever model you choose, whatever model you build, this model never seen this kind of control batch test data. So once we have, you chose or we built a model, we tested this model against this control batch. It's something like an A/B testing, if you think of. Mm-hmm. So we test the model against this control batch to make sure we choose the right model. And then second one is, I like your way to put AI in baking, the scenario. If we want to find the best model, or if we need the hyperparameter tuning, one thing, what we are doing is we are not changing whole ingredient. Like we change one ingredient at a time to find my best recipe. So the same thing in AI. So we have a list of like experts or a list of the parameter. We are changing one by one, and then we are keeping our scoreboard card to figure out which one works best at the time for our problem.
With how fast things are changing, how do you know what you built yesterday that seemed to work, right, is still doing the best job and still your best option today?
Oh my gosh, that is our biggest challenging since this, ChatGPT moment. Sounds like every day we have the best model, the high record best model. So the main key we are adopting is we are designing our LLM infrastructure as flexible as possible. So the same thing, right? If our infrastructure is cabled here and there, attach it to specific model, it's really hard to swap later. So we keep our infrastructure flexible. So tomorrow, hey, I have a best model. I just change my configuration rather than changing the whole code or whole model. That way we can move very fast. So swapping model is getting easier when we, embedded that one inside the code.
Again, for a lot of our manufacturers, distributors listening, a lot of things to experiment with, a lot of things to keep in mind when trying to combine this mixture of experts together in their own AI applications. What advice might you have for them?
All right, smart small, start small. So, pick one workflow bottleneck if you have a problem. Instead of tackling, 1,000 problems, you have one problem at a time, and then leveraging, a couple of experts rather than, for example, ChatGPT, they do have 16 experts. You might not build 16 at first. So adopt one or two expert, and then from there show the speed and then cost lift first and then expand it later. As a technical side, log everything, which means for every core, every expert you learn, latency cost, quick prompt or response, everything you log it so that you can keep your scorecard more manageable later when you compare and then when you choose your best model. So that is two advice I could give.
Fantastic. Well, incredibly valuable, Hyunzoo. Thank you for sharing, kind of peeking back under the hood.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, bye.